Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Belmont Park here on Saturday. It is September the 29th, 2018. It's Jockey Club Day from Belmont, and I'm going to look at all the stakes races. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5 for more selections for race horses around the world. Like I said, it's Jockey Club Day. You're going to look at all the stakes races. We have four of them to look at. Races 7, 8, 9, and 10. Races 7, 8, 9, and the feature 10th race is the Jockey Club Gold Cup. So let's get on to it. We're going to start off with race number 7, which is a good Breeders' Cup prep race, like all these races are. But the 7th race, it's the Vosburg Stakes. Grade 1 purse $350,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 7 horses going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters with a distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the Belmont main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. Sorry, I'm stupid. I can't do two things at the same time. My top selection here, and a single in the multi-race. I would use the 6-horse Imperial Hint. He just looks the best on paper, and I just don't think anybody's going to catch him today. I'm going to go 6-3-5-4 in the superfecta. 6-3-5-4 super. Top selection, the 6-horse Imperial Hint. 5-year-old horse by Imperialism. Javier Castellano picks up the mounts for this one. He's a regular rider anyway. But this horse's most recent outing came the 28th of July at Saratoga. 6 furlongs in the Grade 1 Vanderbilt handicap. The horse won by 1 3/4 lengths. He sat back early, but he got the lead, and then he just won for fun and 108 and 4. A very easy race for him against nobodies. That was actually pretty much a tougher race than the horses he's playing against today. But he ran well there. Before that, in the Grade 2 True North at Belmont, 6.5 June the 8th, the horse won by a neck there. He sat back early, but he had a really good turn of foot at the end, and he fought a good race for the final half furlong. He won that day, and he beat Whitmore, and may he rest in peace, Bobby Abdabi. He showed some heart there, and then before that, in the Churchill Downs Stakes at Churchill, sloppy going, 7 furlongs, May the 5th. The horse finished 6 by 4.5 lengths. He set the pace early on, but then he got caught by Limousine Liberal, who loves Churchill. This horse just wasn't getting to Limousine Liberal on his home turf. And then at Tampa in the Sprint Stakes, the horse won by 5 lengths, 20 cents to the dollar. He won at 110 and 3, a very easy race. You know, he ran last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint at Del Mar, where he finished second by length. He got caught by Roy H., but he ran a decent effort there. Like I said, I think he's the fastest horse here. This race not nearly as tough as the Vanderbilt or the True North, and I just think he's going to run well. 1-5, shit price, I know, but single multi-race. So to recap my selections for the 7th from Belmont, it's the Grade 1, $350,000 Vosburg. Gonna go with the 6-horse Imperial Hint. Gonna go 6-3-5-4 in the superfecta. So now let's get on race number 8 from Belmont. It's the Joe Hurst Turf Classic. It's a Grade 1 race here, going for a purse of $500,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses going the distance of ground here of 2,400 meters, or the distance of ground here of 1 mile and 1/2 on the Widener Turf Course. 2,400 meters, a mile and a half for Widener Lawn. The rail's at 0 feet, so they'll be running against the hedge here. But the problem is, on a Friday morning, basically 2 hours ago, we've had so much rain here in New York City today, Friday, and basically all throughout the week. So the ground's going to be very wet. There's no turf racing Friday at Belmont, so they'll be saving the course. Hopefully it dries out a little bit, but there's no chance you'll see a firm ground come Saturday afternoon. So with that being said, you want to handicap these races for horses that can handle a little bit of a give in the ground. I know I did. My top selection here in the Turf Classic, the Joe Hurst Turf Classic. I'm going to go to the 8-horse Channel Maker as a top selection. I'm going to go 8-4-6-5 in the superfecta. 8-4-6-5 super. Top selection 8-horse Channel Maker. 4-year-old gelding by English Channel here. Jose Ortiz picks up the mount for Belmont. The horse's most recent outing came the 25th of August at Saratoga. Mile and a half inner turf course in the Grade 1 Sword Dancer Invitational. The horse finished second by 1 3/4 lengths. He had a decent turn of foot at the end, but Glorious Empire won the race on the front end all throughout. This horse, he was just second best. Something to keep in mind this summer at Saratoga, that inner turf course and those staying marathon races, horses that set some easy fractions on the front end were winning wire to wire. This horse, the winner no exception that day, went wire to wire. This horse just wasn't catching him. I think today to the wider turf course at Belmont, which could be a little fairer, I think this horse should really do well. Before that, at Saratoga, soft ground, mile 3/8 in the Bowling Green, the horse won by half length. He stalked early on, he got the lead, and he held on. A very good victory there off a little bit of a break. And then the 9th of June at Belmont, mile and a quarter inner turf course now in the Manhattan handicap. The horse finished 8th by 1.5 lengths. It was an all-out finish. Watched the final furlong there. This horse, he just couldn't get in front, but he lost by a small margin. Don't look at the finish. Look at the margin where he finished. He ran a decent effort closing up there. And then before that, in the Turf Classic at Churchill, mile 8th, May the 5th, horse finished 5th by 6 lengths. I don't think the distance was to his liking. I think he likes a longer distance. Distance was too short, and I think first off the layup, he needed the race. He never really got the good kick there. And then before that, in the Kilroy Mile at Santa Anita, 1 mile, March 10th, horse finished 3rd by length. Very wide, but he closed up well at the end. Getting the 1.5 miles again, he should really like it. He's already started in this race last year, and he finished 6th, but he didn't have the best of trips. But I think he's a lot better horse since last year. I think he's improved a lot. 9-2. I'll watch out for him and take him as a top selection. Another horse I'll use on my multi-race ticket at a bit of a price would be the 4-horse Karak. This 3-year-old colt by Giants Causeway. John Velasquez picks up the mount for Tom Morley. This horse ran the 11th of August at Arlington in Chicago, 1.25 miles in the Grade 1 Secretariat. The horse won by a neck there. He stalked early on, but had a very good turn of foot, a little bit wide in the straightaway, but he got there in the end, 38-1. After the race, you look back on the forum when a 38-1 shot wins, and you can kind of understand it. I know I did. I kind of overlooked that horse that day in the at Arlington, but this horse, he ran a hell of a race. Before that, in the Grade 3 Kent at Delaware, mile 8th, July the 14th, the horse finished 3rd by 2 3/4 lengths. He had a little bit of a trouble trip there, and I think the distance might have been a little bit too short for him. I think he's another horse that should like staying on the grass. And then he ran here at Belmont, mile 8th, the inner turf course, in a Star Lounge race, 50,000. He destroyed the field. He won by 1.5 lengths. Very easy victory. And then his first outing came in a maiden claiming race here at Belmont in mid-May. Mile 16th, Widener Lawn in a maiden 40. Horse won by 4.5 lengths. Stalked early. Great turn of foot, and he won for fun at 15-1. I think here today at 8-1, he's getting the distance again that he's going to like. You should like it given the ground. 8-1, make sure you have him on your multi-race ticket. I'll use him there. And I think the 6-horse Spring Quality is another horse I'll use on multi-race ticket because we're singling the first leg of this multi-race. We're going to single Imperial Hint in the race before, but so we could go a little deep in these races here where you might see a price. But the 6-horse and Spring Quality I'll definitely use on my multi-race ticket also. Edgar Prado, the veteran, gets up for this one for Grand Motion. This horse ran the Sword Dancer a few weeks ago at Saratoga, where he finished 3rd by 3 3/4 lengths. He had a little bit of trouble trip, but again, he closed up well. He wasn't going to catch the winner, but he had a decent turn of foot. Before that, in the Manhattan here at Belmont, 1.25 miles inner turf course, June the 9th, he won by a neck and at 18-1. Great turn of foot. He got there in the end after a wide trip. That was a very exciting race here. They ran at 1:58.2, which is quite fast for a 1.25 miles also. And then before then, the Fort Marcy at Belmont, mile 8th, May the 5th. Horse finished 2nd by 3/4 length. He lost to Robert Bruce, who won the Arlington Million. Is actually running that in this one today. This horse a little bit wide, but he had a decent race first off the break. He should like the 1.5 miles today. He's versatile. He could come from farther behind or he could stalk. Edgar Prado being the veteran, I think I might stalk with this one. 4-1, I'm definitely going to use him on the multi-race. So to recap my selections for the 8th from Belmont, it's the Grade 1, $500,000 Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. My top selection, I'm going to use the 8-horse Channel Maker. I'm going to go 8-4-6-5 in the superfecta. I'll go 8-4-6 in my multi-race wager. So now let's get on to race number 9. Race number 9 from Belmont. It is the Pilgrim Stakes Grade 3 race going for a purse of $200,000. This race is for 2-year-olds here. Field of 11 horses going the distance of ground of 1,700 meters with a distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/16 on the inner turf course. 1,700, mile 16th, inner turf. The rails are up, I believe, at 27 feet, which is far out. And when the rails are up on the inner turf course at Belmont, the speed really holds up. Well, in general, the speed really holds up on the inner turf course at Belmont. The ground's going to be wet today, so just keep that in mind. I think I mentioned that earlier. But my top selection here in the Pilgrim, I like the 5-horse Opry. I'm going to go 5-7-9-8 in the superfecta. 5-7-9-8 super. Top selection of 5-horse Opry. Hero Colt by declaration of war. Javier Castellano gets the mount for this one for top pletcher. The horse's most recent outing came the 29th of August at Saratoga, mile and 16th on the Mellon and the Grade 3 with anticipation stakes. The horse won by 1.5 lengths. Horrible start that day, and this horse, sat about mid-pack. Great turn of foot at the end, and he got the victory. If you watched the start, you didn't think this horse was going to win, but he got there in the end. Good heart there. It was a really good effort. And then before that, the 11th of August at Saratoga, 7 furlongs off the turf and main special weight 85,000. Horse finished third by half length. Was very wide, but had a decent turn of foot. It wasn't a bad run. Since the with anticipation, this horse has been training up at Saratoga on the Oklahoma turf. Most recent workout, 4 furlong workout, 48 and 4. The best workout, 31. And then another workout, Saratoga train track, 4 furlongs and 49 flat. Third best out 26. I think here today, if Castellano sends his horse a little bit closer to the front, I think he could run a big one. 9 to 5, not the best price, but he's a horse you definitely want to use on your multi-race ticket. And another horse I'll definitely use on my multi-race ticket would be the 7 horse. Some like it about. I can't speak now. Pardon me. Some like it's brown. I can't speak today for some reason. I haven't had enough coffee yet. See, it's still half full. But the 7 horse, Mike Maker, trains one. It's Hero Colt by Big Brown. Irider Hughes Jr. picks up the mount. This horse's most recent outing came in with anticipation at Belmont at Saratoga a few weeks ago, mile 16th on the Mellon. The horse finished second by 1.5 lengths. He stalked most of the race. He never got the good closing kick, but it was his first start with blinkers. But, he ran okay. Before that, it was a weird race at Saratoga. Mile 8th on the Mellon, August 8th in main special weight 75,000. He won by 8 lengths, but that was the race where they accidentally put the starting gate in the wrong position. It's supposed to be a mile 16th. They ran it at a mile and 1/8. This horse won for fun. That's why there was a lot of weakening horses, but this horse loved the extra distance. He won by a lot. It was a very easy race there. First time on turf, first time routing, and then before that, 5.5 at Saratoga on the sloppy going main track, main special weight 75,000. Horse didn't do well. He finished 7th. Under drive most of the race, wide. Gave away, wasn't the day to win, but I think the turf is his better surface. If he sits forwardly placed, I think he's another horse he could get a piece of it. 7 to 2, horse I'll definitely use on my multi-race ticket. But to recount my selections now for the 9th from Belmont, it's the Grade 3 Pilgrim Stakes. Gonna go with the 5 horse Opry. Gonna go 5, 7, 9, 8 in the superfecta. I'll go 5, 7, and I'll also use the 9 horse 5, 7, 9 in my multi-race ticket. 5, 7, 9. So now let's get on to race number 10 from Belmont. It's the Jockey Club Gold Cup, the Grade 1 Jockey Club Gold Cup. It's going for a purse of $750,000. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 8 horses here, going the distance of ground of 2,000 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/4 on the Belmont main track. 2,000 meters, 1.25 miles. Keep in mind, this race does start on the turn, so you want some good position here. With that being said, I'm going to go as a top selection to the wide post right here, to the 8 horse, Thunder Snow. I think he'll really run a big race. I think he's the most I think he's the best horse on paper in this race. A lot of people might say diversify, but I'll talk about him in a little bit. But I really like Thunder Snow in this spot. I'm gonna go 8, 3, 6, 7 in the superfecta, 8, 3, 6, 7 super. In a multi-race, I'm going to go 8, 3, 6. I'll go 3 deep here, but my top selection, the 8 horse, Thunder Snow, 4-year-old colt by Helmet here, Godolphin Doan, Saeed Ben Zor trains, Christophe Soumillon gets the mount on this one, Soumillon getting his first mount of the year here in the United States, but this horse's most recent outing came the 22nd of August at York during the Ebor meeting, mile 5/16, the extended mile and a quarter in the Group 1 Jedmont International. The horse finished 8th by 13 1/4 lengths behind Roaring Lion. Roaring Lion is probably the best horse in the world, I think, at 1.25 miles this year. This horse just wasn't catching him, and also it was his first off the layoff. He desperately needed the race. Looking over his form, he doesn't really run first off the layoff really well. Second off the layoff, he really improves, but he just didn't run well there. Roaring Lion, like I said, he's just a step above everybody else at 1.25 miles. He won next start on the Irish Champions, going 1.25 miles, but this horse just wasn't catching there. It was his first start there since the Dubai World Cup, 31st of March at Meydan, 1.25 miles in the Group 1 $10 million World Cup. The horse won by 5 3/4 lengths, and it was a conveyor belt of speed that course at Maidan that evening. And this horse went straight to lead and won for fun. He got a buyer of 111 there, which was very good, a very good run there. And then before that, the Al Maktoum Challenge round 3 at Maidan, Monoquarter marched to 10th. On Super Saturday, he finished second by 5 1/4 lengths. Christophe Soumillon was suspended for that week because of a riding infraction, and they replaced him with Ocean Murphy, who I think is one of the best riders in the world, but he didn't give the best mount on this. He didn't give the best ride on that Thunder Snow that evening. He just never really got the good kick, and he just let the winner North America get away with it. It wasn't his strongest ride by Murphy. I think Soumillon back up, who knows the horse the best, he proved the next start out, and he won for fun in the World Cup. And then before that, the Al Maktoum Challenge round 2 at Maidan, Mile 3/16, February the 8th. Horse won by a neck. He closed up well. He got there in the end. Good race for there. And then before that, in the round 1 of the challenge, going 1600 on a mile at Maidan on the dirt, he finished second by 4.5 lengths. Heavy Metal ran a hell of a race. This horse needed the race. Like I said, he doesn't run well first off the break, but second off, he runs well. Like today, he is. He likes the distance of 1.25 miles. I think he'll run well. Throw out his Derby performance from 2017. He was on a sloppy course, and first time getting dirt into his face. The crowd being right on top of him. You could give so much excuse to that run. Like I said, I think coming here today, not so close to the crowd. You're not going to see as big crowd as you did Derby Day, of course, at Churchill. But the ground should be dry enough by Saturday afternoon. He should really do well. 6-1. Personally, I think you'll probably see actually higher odds here in the United States on him. I have a feeling he might go up to 8 to maybe 10-1, because a lot of people are going to be thinking about him and thinking about the Derby from a few years ago. So if I get 10-1 on him at post time, I'll be happy as a pig in shed. He's my best bet of the day, so watch out for him. Another horse I think could really run a big one would be the 3-horse Mendelssohn. 7-2, 3-0 colt by Scat Daddy. Ryan Moore comes in from the UK to ride this one for Aidan O'Brien and Coolmore. The horse's most recent outing, though, came stateside here in New York, upstate New York to be exact, at Saratoga, Monoquarter in the Grade 1 Travers. This horse had a very good second place finish by 4 lengths. Catholic Boy just had the jump on him that day at the end, but this horse went straight to lead, was setting the pace early on, got overtaken by Catholic Boy, but he showed some heart there. Very good run, and he wasn't even 100%. I think here, second off the break, he should really run a very good race. Before that, he ran here at Belmont, 1 mile in the Grade 3 Dwyer, he finished third by 9.5 lengths. He stalked early on, and then he just kind of weakened out of it. It wasn't his day to win, but just to keep in mind that day at Belmont, it was a very humid afternoon, so maybe he wasn't used to the humidity. The American, in Europe, the humidity is not really a factor. Here in America, especially here in New York City, the summer humidity in July is just, unbearable. So this horse, I don't think he was really used to that. And then before that, in the Kentucky Derby at Churchill, Monoquarter, first time on a sloppy course, he finished 20th by 73 1/4 lengths. A lot of dirt in his face. He just wasn't getting into it. If the track was sloppy today, which I highly doubt, but if it was sloppy today, I wouldn't pick him. But with a drier track today, stalking, I think he could get a good closing kick. I like him a lot here today. 7-2. I think this is going to be the make it or break it race for Mendelssohn, so I'll use him as a pick here. And the 6-horse Diversify, this 5-year-old gelding by Bellamy Road, he's going to be used as insurance at my multi-race ticket. Iratus Jr. gets on this one for Rick Violetta Jr. This horse, he's I just don't think he's that good. I think he's good against the lesser quality horses, the lesser Grade 1 quality horses, but I think today's going to be his biggest challenge ever, because he's been winning for fun his last few, but those weren't very tough races. Today, this is with the horses coming in from Europe, they faced a lot tougher horses in Europe. This race is not nearly as tough for them, and I just think, I think Diversify is very vulnerable in the spot. He did win the Whitney a few weeks ago at Saratoga nicely, but that was because it was a speed-favoring race course, and he loves to slop, and he just went clear. Then after that, before that, he won the Suburban here easily. It wasn't a tough race this year, Suburban, to be honest. And then before that, in the commentary, he won by a nose. He didn't break all that well, but he held on at the end. But again, it wasn't the most impressive victories. And then the Charlestown Classic off the break, he finished 7th by 26 lengths. Set the pace early on, but then he just hit the wall completely. That was a very tough race, but I expect him, I expect him to either run big or not run at all. I expect him to see, I just have a feeling he might run a race like the Clark Handicap, where he finished 7th by 3 1/4 lengths, where he just hit the wall. I believe he's one of the favorites for the Classic this year, but I just do not see him doing anything there. He'll be used as insurance, but I just don't think he's that good. He'll be sent to the lead, and I just have a feeling he's going to get caught somewhere in the straightaway. So 4 to 5, like I said, he'll be used as insurance, but I'm not so confident on him today. But to recap my selections now for the 10th from Belmont, it's the Grade 1 $750,000 Jockey Club Gold Cup. Top selection, going to use the 8-horse Thunder Snow. I'm going to go 8, 3, 6, 7 in the superfecta. I'll go 8, 3, 6 in the multi-race, pick 4, pick 5, whatever I decide to play. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5.